All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the first episode of the NaiSai Podcast. I am your host, Dave
Mhm.
EMC, alongside the other host of this show, who happens to
Call
be
me
the
Shukid.
boy Shukid.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How you doing, man?
I'm great, man. Just out here quarantining, chilling, keeping to myself, self-distancing from everything
Self-distancing
and
life,
everyone.
man.
I mean, we're
Self-distancing
adapting,
life.
right?
Hey,
We just adapting.
you have to, man. But I kind of secretly wish that I wasn't working from home, but that's a story for another day.
I mean, at least you working. Most of us is just those of us that don't necessarily have that formal employment. We just out here kind of just waiting for things to, kind of switch up and see what's happening for us.
Yeah, that sounded kind of selfish from me. I apologize for that. That's a bit insensitive.
Nah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
All right, Brad. So without wasting too much time, because
Mhm.
because of the way this call is set up,
Yeah.
uh, what do you want to get into? Because there's a lot to talk about. There have been the IG live beat battles. There's been
Yeah.
Patient Zero in Kenya
Uh-huh.
recovering from Corona. There's been new music coming out,
Yeah.
and of course, we have to get into some controversy on Drink Champs.
I mean, it's only right since we're already talking about the quarantine. Let's get on with that as we get into this patient zero, man. Like we've been in quarantine for what? How many days has it been now?
This has been okay since the curfew came in. It's been like a week,
Yeah, about a week or so.
about a week or so. But I think people were told to start chilling at home maybe from maybe 2.5 weeks ago.
About 2.5 weeks ago. Huh?
Yeah.
But like, I mean, it's been causing some friction because I guess some people aren't necessarily ready to just, put
Mm-hmm.
everything off and sit down and
Mm-hmm.
wait.
Mm-hmm.
Guys haven't necessarily been ready in terms of like their stocking, their finances, their food situation, their
No,
living
but
condition.
no, but some have been ready because
Some,
you
yeah.
you remember seeing the way guys were panic buying. I think the first
Hmm.
few
Hmm.
days after guys were told, okay, well, the shit is here,
Yeah,
so you have to go home.
yeah. But you
Yeah.
remember, while this panic buying is going on, remember people also being limited to what they can purchase. So guys are figuring the
No, no,
shop.
no.
They're being
That
told
happened.
out.
That happened after, bro. Because I remember
Oh,
listening to the story of Junction. The Carrefour at Junction was completely like everything was taken off the shelf. Like people were
word.
buying in bulk like that, and then afterwards is when they decided, okay, there's a limit to the number of things you can buy, and it was
Hmm.
mostly these foreign guys who were Kenyan citizens. At the same time, they were the ones who were buying everything. I guess it was just diplomats and the diplomats' kids and like that.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. I guess people had a little bit of time. Senior Kenya, man, we also like that last minute rush. So I guess some people were caught in that crossfire.
Now, one day on this podcast, we're going to talk about why we enjoy being last minute so much, like with everything.
Adrenaline, man. Maybe it's adrenaline. You never know. Maybe people get a high from knowing this is the last opportunity to do it.
Yeah, but why wait a few days into the deadline?
Dog beats me. Maybe we need to find our people that do this because it's the same thing with passports. It's the same thing with I think even the Huduma number, though people were fighting against it. It's the same thing with when we're trying to get every time something new is introduced, basically
Mm.
it's a rush. The two things that screw us over as Kenyans is last minute rush and rainy weather. I don't know what makes us get confused about rainy weather, but things just can't be normal during those two situations.
And you see how Duma number that story has disappeared somehow.
Bruh, that now that's a story for another day because we want to know. We want to know what was that all about.
Scandal,
Tulipangia line.
man. All right. So at the time of recording this, I think the deaths are over. I think 100 and not the deaths. The cases are 100 and I think 10, if I'm
In
not
the
wrong.
country, yeah.
Yeah, in the
Mhm.
country, and then 4 deaths I think so far, and the supposed recovery of 2 people.
Now, since you said supposed, I guess there's no better time than now to get into that. You saying supposedly, man, Dave.
Let's get into the
Tickle your
conspiracy
brain. Let me
bag.
tickle your brain, bro. Let me tickle your brain. What you mean by supposed? You don't sound like you believe Brenda and Brian.
Only because they went on a PR tour. Like,
But
no,
yeah,
honestly, how do you recover? How do you recover? And then immediately you told, all right, let's put a bunch of cameras in front of you. Go to the Ministry of Health headquarters. You meet with the CS, and yeah, you
boom, boom,
explain.
boom. Everything's set.
Everything is set.
Yeah, that was kind of fishy. At first I just took it at face value. I didn't think much of it, but when I logged into the internet, and our country people don't play, man. Kenyans are saying all types of mess online. They got me to thinking. It really got me to thinking, and before I could even make my own conclusions, receipts. Hey, Kenyans, who hurt you? Receipts was popping up like no one's business.
Okay, we'll get into the unnecessary receipts, but like
Hmm.
immediately, I think this time when most guys are home, there's gonna be a lot of things that are gonna go down. Like I even saw last night on Twitter, guys are saying, okay, at some point, guys are gonna turn on the health CS, and then like shit is gonna go bad.
Uh-huh.
So trust Kenyans to look for just one thing to pinpoint at. Watoe receipts sijui wapi,
Hmm.
and then just like the story is just
But
like that. We move on to the next thing.
what people need to figure out, the way I see it, is um this is just a testament to how we have little faith in our government. That
Mhm.
anytime they say something, we're always on the lookout for the other angle of the story. We're always like, nah, I don't think this is it.
Yeah.
So the moment this shorty came up, if if we had leadership that we trusted, would have been the if it was a ploy, if it's a test or anything, it would have lasted. It would have ran its course. But because we've been hurt so many times by the same people, anytime they try to do something, we're always like on the edge of our seats. We're not putting all our feet in there just yet. I'm gonna stick. You know how you get into cold water?
Mhm.
It's like you stick your toe in, you stick your big toe in, as you slowly get into the pool of water. That's
This
how
is
we function.
yeah. This is how we've been functioning for 7 years, bro.
Imagine, man, 7 years. You're gonna get into that later. But I see what you did right there. I see what you did, Dave.
All right, man. So, okay, what do you think about the whole Brenda story? Because my mind immediately just like I went to Twitter just to kind of
Huh?
see what people were saying about them, and then of course we have the receipts that were pulled up, like her nudes,
Right.
like which was really
Mm,
disrespectful. It wasn't necessary
mm.
actually. It
Yeah.
wasn't necessary.
I
But
mean,
what do you think about the whole thing? Because guys were pulling receipts from 2015. Like these two, what like had known each other since back then.
now I don't want to play no moral authority. I don't want to play CIA. I don't want to play like the dude that knows it all. So
Yeah,
I'm not gonna make my conclusions on whether I think it's real or not,
yeah.
or whether it was a test or not, or PR. What I will say though is that if it does turn out that we're just being fed a BS story, it's just gonna show us even more how whack the government is. Because a time like this, when like these are lives, we're not talking about trivial stuff here. We're not talking about some trivial shit. We're talking about people's lives. And the fact that our government could potentially use this opportunity to do some PR stunts for their own benefit, I don't see how the country's benefiting from this story, but clearly they'd have a motive if they're trying to do this to our people and lie to us in broad daylight. I feel like that says a lot about them. And in the future, as a people, we need to learn how to make better decisions when we're picking these dudes, because clearly these guys don't give a they don't care about us. So if it comes out real that these guys are just doing some PR thing, I'll be super disappointed and I'll be super worried as a person of this country and the governance of it. I wouldn't know what to do next. But until then, man, I'm just chilling. I'm just quarantining, hoping it don't catch me or my people,
Yeah.
and just waiting for the word, man. We're just waiting to see what the government will say also during this quarantine period.
How long you think everything is gonna go until?
Bro, I don't know. People are saying we should project, like the projections are saying we should expect more deaths, I think, in the first half of April.
Nah, I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about the number of deaths. I'm talking about like how long do you think this will go for? Like generally, even worldwide, because the projections say it could go till June or July.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So based on what people are saying, they're assuming it's going to be an increase in deaths and or an increase in coronavirus cases.
Yeah.
I'm really not in a position to try and predict. I'm hoping it takes as little as possible, bro, because so much has been affected. As a you do your art thing on the side. You know how we've been affected by it. We're
Yeah.
hoping the vaccine come out real soon so we can go back to normal, figure out how we can deal with the patients. But I'm honestly in no position to predict. When this thing came at first, to be absolutely honest, when this thing first started, I was one of those guys that's like, this isn't for us, I was like, man, we ain't got nothing to worry about. I didn't think it would get this serious, but the way I'm looking at the chair I'm sitting in right now has a completely different view of it. I'm worried about it. I hope it goes away. I'm just trying to stay safe. I can't predict how long it takes.
All right, man.
What do you think?
For me, I think in terms of the African cases, because the African cases are so so much fewer than the global cases, like it's gonna take the rest of the world more time for them to like recover and like get back to some sort of normalcy. But I think for us, especially in Kenya, maybe if I was being optimistic, I'd say June. June. Like so for everything to hit its peak and then now start coming down if people continue to stay in the house. Because another thing about Kenyans is we are stubborn as hell. We are stubborn as hell. Like look how it took police beatings for people to think, oh, okay, yeah.
I mean, it's true, but not to go back to what we've probably just kind of brushed over, but I'm sure you understand why Kenyans are kind of finding it hard to just chill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's on a national level. We're hoping we can contain it, man. But man, so many things are being said about this, so many conspiracy theories. I don't even know what to believe about the origin of this disease anymore, how it came about, who it's coming from. People saying it's population control. People saying it's a mistake. I don't know.
We're gonna save the conspiracy theories for the next episode, because that's gonna be a fun conversation.
It's too much to talk about.
There's too much to talk about it, and there's also updates. Like there's constant updates. All right, bro. Switching gears now. We're gonna go from something sad and very serious to something fun. Have you been keeping up with these IG live performances?
Bro, what else is there to do, man? They're killing me. I just love everything I'm seeing, man. Performances, the DJ sets.
Yeah.
Pretty much everything that's going on, not to just single it only on the performances. Pretty much everything that's going on online right now is really entertaining. From the performances, the DJ sets, and even the challenges that people are participating in. They're getting creative.
I'm not a fan of the challenges, but the IG live performances, like which ones have you been watching?
Performances?
Yeah, I like the beat battles or the performances. Like for example, when Sauti Soul did their IG live concert,
Yeah,
was it
Salty
last
Souls
week?
was nice. Salty Souls was nice. I really liked Black Coffee. I didn't do the whole thing, but I got a glimpse of Black Coffees, and the little bit that I saw was
Mm-hmm,
mad impressive.
mm-hmm,
Salty Souls was really nice as well. Octo Pizzo just did his on YouTube, I think a
mm-hmm.
day or so ago. That looked pretty interesting as well. I'd say maybe we have a little bit. We need to do something about sound.
Yeah,
Maybe we need to rectify something a little bit on the sound front.
but
But
I think
for
that's on
the
Instagram's. That's on Instagram's part because like if you get I think IG waters down the quality sometimes. So like depending on now your phone might even give you even worse quality depending on what kind of phone you have. So if IG is what IG just needs to stop watering down the quality. It's not fun.
so on that I follow. I believe you follow Tim McGuire, right?
Yeah,
Yes, I don't know what kind of equipment people are necessarily setting themselves up with, but he was advising guys whether you're using a phone or your laptop or whatnot. So when you're doing your in-house concert, there's a
yeah,
lot of things to factor in, you know. So and that's what's kind of creating the difference. That's what's kind of creating the drawing the line between those who deem themselves pro or those that are putting a bit more into their craft than the other. Because grabbing your phone and singing is one thing, we still appreciate that. But
yeah.
in this time and now, where guys are putting their all into everything, you find this certain these small gadgets that sometimes you might not know about. You have to like get into that particular task to learn about them. I saw him advising guys on some
Mhm,
adapter that you can
mhm.
purchase, and it helps with the general quality of your sound.
All right, that's fair. Um,
Yeah.
let's get into the big battles everyone was talking about. Did you happen to catch like maybe even the next day? Did you happen to catch Timberland versus Swiss Beats?
Bro, I was there. I was catching that. I caught that. That was interesting. And that's not the first time they've
Man,
done that.
man, that was oh my god.
And you know what I love about it is I think Timberland and Swiss Beats, they started this thing even before the quarantine thing happened. They've done this before, right?
Yeah,
What I love about it is their OGs still doing some, they're still using the internet in a smarter way than the younger kids who came with the internet. All right, they've been doing that. They've kept us entertained. They do it for the culture, and they're
yeah,
still growing.
yeah.
So watching them drop all those hits, it was nostalgic. It felt good. It was entertaining, man.
What about Scott Storch versus Manny Fresh?
Scott Storch versus Manny Fresh. I didn't catch the whole thing, but that was another one. Always been a big fan of Manny Fresh, man. But Scott Storch, he showed what he's about.
You remember you remember how Scott Storch was a whole era, man. Back in the early two
Exactly.
thousands.
Yup.
Even Manny Fresh though, but Manny Fresh, I feel like he was just playing a lot of the Cash Money catalog, and then Scott Storch was just like bouncing from different. Like he has, like both of them produced a lot
Um,
of great music, but did you catch like how maybe Manny Fresh was just playing mostly the Cash Money catalog?
and you see, that's the thing. Manny Fresh is talented as hell. Don't get me wrong, but you see,
Yeah,
Manny Fresh was really based or heavy in the South. Whereas Scott Storch was one of those producers. He got to the point where he was one of those producers that was sought after worldwide. He went from Dr. Dre to 50 Cent to to R&B chops. So Scott Storch, he's just something else. I
yeah,
wish. Now speaking on that, man. Speaking
yeah.
on that, which battle, which two producers do you think would be an interesting battle in KE? Like
In KE,
all the way from the Ogopa days to the current sound, man. Who do you think would do something real interesting?
Ted Josiah versus Musioka.
Yo, we should lobby for that. How can we get that?
Ted Josiah versus Musioka. That is one. It's like if you would get Dre versus Dr. Dre versus uh There's something I was listening to. I think Joe Budden's podcast last night, and he was saying, imagine if you had Dre in a beat battle versus, I think, who is he talking about? Like, imagine now that kind of level, that top level. You've had hits for damn near 30 years. Like, who would you put Dre against? Like, it's that kind of level. So Ted Josiah versus Monsieur.
Yeah.
I don't know how we can lobby for that, because there has to be a way to lobby for that, man. That would be.
How about what you think about some like Provoke versus Bob's on the Track?
Oh damn.
Yeah.
Oh damn. Okay.
That sounds like something, right?
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I'll see what I can do, man. I'm gonna try to push Provoke in that direction, see what he says. Although he's doing another thing. Have you seen what they're up to?
Oh, what is he doing?
They're not doing a challenge. It's more of they're creating a beat together. So it's like someone does one thing. The other day, I think ABH Sounds did like keys, Provoke maybe did drums. Someone else does like melodies. So they're also doing something of their own, but it's more of a collaborative thing, less of a challenge. Yeah. It's still dope though. You get to see. I mean, our people is still doing our thing, man. On this side, that one's
Yeah,
cool
man.
because
So yeah, on the KE side, yeah. Those two, those actually those two battles, that would actually be very, very dope. What do you think about the DJs? Like, which Kenyan DJ have you enjoyed so far? Like, because I've been
I'll be.
checking out G Money.
Now this is the thing about me, man. The reason I watched even the Black Coffee one is because Black Coffee also, like, he makes records, he has records to his name, not just DJing and stuff. So I'm not really a big fan of DJ mixes. I'm not finna sit there and just watch you mix. You know what I mean? So I haven't really watched the Kenyan DJ mixes in full conclusion. I caught DJ 254 who was mixing on his FB live because I mess with him. I know the homie personally, and he's always been putting out some nice mixes, though he doesn't do it too regularly. I tried to catch the Joan Falme one a little bit. Those an initial one he did. I think he has another one coming out this weekend, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
So I caught the Joan Falme one a little bit. I caught the G Money one. Y'all was tagged by so many. I think G Money's must have been popping because so many people tagged me and they're like, "Yo, come to this party. Come to this party."
The one for last night?
Nah, not last night. I think the first one he did.
Yeah, because I think he's partnered up with Valentine, so I think he'll be doing, I think every Friday, if I'm not wrong, every Friday or every Saturday. He's gonna be on Facebook Watch.
You've just mentioned something, and sorry to interrupt. I don't know if I'm changing the direction of this conversation.
No,
said he's doing something with Valentine's, yeah?
Yeah, with Valentine's.
So do you think our creators out here have found a way to monetize these IG performances? Because for the most part, it's free. You're giving people a free show, which isn't bad.
They're giving people a free show, but G Money is in his bag, if I'm not wrong. Or maybe they're just giving him the platform, like through their Facebook page, because I don't know. I don't know whether he's actually.
But I mean, like,
it.
And you see, G Money's getting that Valentine's because that's G Money. But there's so many other people doing live stuff. Was it last night or Juicy? Boutros had his own live thing. He did his own performance as well.
Yeah, I saw
that. What about cats like those? They need a bag as well.
I think this would be the perfect time if artists or creatives can get in touch with these corporates, even if, like, you're sitting your ass in the house, like you're doing a live set, but you're also getting a small bag on the side, because at this time where there are no shows being done, there's nothing going on in terms of live performances, like actually getting out of the house, going to see a concert. I think that would benefit the artists a lot. Like if the companies were to collaborate with the artists.
Right. Now,
because we know from history, the government doesn't do shit.
Facts.
Yeah. So you were saying?
So I think like these are some of the ongoing conversations that we need to be having from even before the virus to after the whole effect in general, because it's still distribution of opportunity,
Yeah.
at the end of the day. So I mean, let's hope for the best. I've seen a few things starting to happen. I think Fena did some with Smirnoff. I think Piera did some with Hennessy. We're gonna get
Let
into the
me let me.
conversation about Piera. We're gonna get into those comments later. I know you saw, bro.
No, people are mean. Kenyans are mean,
Yo, guys are mad.
especially
I
for
was, I was,
Pierre's IG. Now we need to talk about this right now before we move on to anything else.
you guy, I don't even know where to start. I'm sorry to laugh at other people's pain, but I was dying.
Yo, ati Pierre anakaa kama uko kwa movie place because of
You
all
guy, I was seeing
the CDs on the
the
wall.
CDs in the background.
Oh my god.
You guys, I was seeing like when she posted, and I know this is regular thing. I know a bunch of people have said this to other guys, but it was like, ati yo party tonight. Guys are like, ati sangapi tuzimesimu, ama sijui sangapi to log out.
Oh
Yo,
wow.
so I read those ones first. Then I was like, nah, it can't be bad. So I was like, let me keep on reading. Wah, 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 wah. But in their defense, she fumbled. She let that. She kind of let that
Uh-huh.
happen to
Uh-huh. She let that happen to herself. Let's be honest about that. But yo, the thing, hey, Kenyans on Twitter. Hey?
her. Basically, it's like this, Dave. Just be safe. Don't diss no one out here in these streets, because the day these guys come for you, it's downhill. I don't understand how people who've been roasted manage to survive. Because when Kenyans go in, they go in.
And they go in extremely hard, bro.
Hey, they don't give a shit about your family, your feelings, your friends, their employment, bro. It's time to go in. It's time to go in.
Bro. Anyway, Ebu, hey, Ebu, just keep an eye on those IG lives because the minute Kenyans on Twitter move to Instagram, there's numbers, and then they come back to Instagram with now the input.
Mm-hmm. Yo, speaking on how Kenyans are savage, man. This dude, someone posted, it was like a DJ exclusive wanted to do a live party.
Oh
Akona
no!
35 views.
Oh,
Akona 35
yeah,
views.
yeah, I saw that.
Logout.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yo, what's up with us and loving people's downfall, man? It's like it gives us a rush.
It's not loving people's downfall. I think we're just very selective.
Like so much shit has happened to us that everything's just funny.
Actually, you know the thing is, and like I don't know why I'm getting into this, but let me get into it anyway. We are so good at masking like whatever stress we're going through. Like we use memes, we use laughter.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think. Cause the minute all these IG lives have been going on, Sauti Soul's not a single bad thing was said on the Sauti Soul IG live.
Yeah.
Then you come to Pierre McKenna's IG live, and it's like it was just unleashed.
So basically, the way Kenya operates is it's usually collective decision.
Collective decision. If we
Never.
hate you, we
Yeah.
hate you.
Yeah. It's like someone stands at the front of the line and is like, "Yo, akina Dave, akina Sauti Sol wako next. Tunawapenda ama tuwapendi? Tunawapenda." Then it's like, "Alright, we love him." And then it's like the next
because
person comes up, and then it's like, "Yeah, akina Dave, no tunawapenda. Z, akwe." So it's like it's a
because
collective thing.
as we finish on this topic, like Jana Bien was on the Sauti Soul IG live page. He was just doing like I guess a Q&A or just talking to the fans, and the numbers were there. I think he had about maybe 2K people, 3,000, almost like 3,000 watching his IG live. And then now you go to
nice.
other IG lives, guys are getting like single digits or even double digits.
Speaking of numbers, You saw what happened to Tory's live when Drake joined?
Oh my god. Yeah, see, it spiked up.
It
It
went from
became
like
like
110.
actually it became a record. Yeah, it went up by I think 150K.
Hmm.
Or was it
I was like,
200?
what?
Because it jumped from I think 160 to like 310.
300, yeah. And that's crazy. And it's like, how do you have such influence? What do you do with yourself when you have so much influence, man? How does it feel to have so much power?
Bruh, next week we're gonna talk about how Drake is a genius.
I'm gonna need to get my logbook out, do this sand, tin. What was it called in high school? Tan, sin, because I don't
Tansin,
get it.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to calculate these algorithms.
Now we're gonna talk about how Drake is that big of an influence, and we're gonna talk about how he is a genius because that guy,
It's insane.
he drops something, so we're gonna talk about that next week. Like we just have to figure out like what he does, man.
Yeah, we have to.
All right, let's get into the conspiracy, not the conspiracy, the controversy, I should say, of Drink Champs.
As I take a sip. So, I'm a big fan of podcasts. Um, Especially during this quarantine period, I've really
Yeah,
been binge listening to podcasts,
yeah.
and Drink Champs is one of my go-to channels.
All right, so for those of
And
you
this,
who don't know what we're talking about,
yeah,
we both like enjoy Drink Champs, and I enjoy, of course, the Joe Budden podcast. That's taking a
mm,
break for now, but every week I was always there watching, even with Drink Champs. If it's my favorite person, I was there watching.
mm,
Um, so the last episode that's on the Revolt channel was Nori talking to Lamar Odom, and
Lamar Odom.
they talked about everything, and it was like a 2 hour, I think maybe 2.5 hour podcast.
About, yeah, 2 hours and some. And
Bruh,
I'll be honest. I'll be honest. When I saw Lamar Odom going to Drink Champs,
yeah.
I had a disconnect. And then I had a quick flashback of what was happening to him,
Uh-huh.
prior in his life.
Yeah.
But when I saw him having drinks and even being like, nah, I need to take a shot for that, I was thinking to myself, uh, Mandem is okay, or maybe
Mhm,
some of the stories I was hearing back in the day might have been false.
mhm.
So I'm still listening to this Drink Champs episode and I'm doing my thing. And then it gets, first of all, this was one of my more boring episodes because Lamar Odom just takes too fucking long to speak. And
Yeah,
that's when I
I didn't
started
even
feeling
finish it.
like, mhm.
Sorry, yeah. I was saying like I didn't even finish it. Like I told you, like I didn't even finish the first hour.
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember you told me you didn't even know what happened towards the end, yeah?
Yeah, because you came and told me like some shit had went down. So um like I don't get it. I don't get it why he went to Drink Champs knowing very well that the way Nori gets information out of you is to make you have a drink.
But at the same time, remember this. Um, Royce the 5'9" has had problems with alcohol.
Yeah.
Royce the 5'9" has been on Drink Champs,
Yeah, but
and his
Royce was able to say something. I felt like
he was
Lamar
there
maybe should have said
twice.
something.
He was just like, yo, we don't need to have drinks. And since you saw the beginning of this Drink Champs episode,
Yeah.
even Nori was like, I haven't had a drink in 9 weeks until this day here.
Mm-hmm.
So Lamar should have been like, well, I can't really drink, or
Yep.
can we keep it on a minimum, or something like some sort of warning,
Or they could have just smoked up. Like I think Royce
or
also.
smoke.
I think Royce smoked up, or he didn't like have anything at all.
Yeah, I don't think he didn't have anything. Royce was just clean. He was just like, yo, me, I've come from my own journey, and I'm just here to promote and have a discussion. Because regardless, Nori knows how to hold conversation. Nori is an OG in the game. He knows stories. He knows some of these people personally. Even the whole thing with Lamar Odom did come from far. It's not that you just
Yeah,
meet
but
Lamar out.
do you think Nori was genuinely like he didn't know about Lamar selling the championships, or do you think that was just like ignorant?
Well, I guess because he kept on saying it innocently. I really think maybe Nori didn't know that he sold them for. I didn't know that he sold them for drugs. I know that Lamar had been messing up.
Yeah.
I know he had the drug problems. I know he lost his rings. I also didn't know that he sold them for blow, bro. That shit blew me out my mind. 50. I had to like look up the story after this whole incident. And
Yeah.
this man sold his NBA rings for 50K a piece for blow.
That's mad.
You know, it's pretty low. It's definitely not something he wants to look back at, especially if he's managed to recover. But I feel like maybe he's still in the process of recovery, and that's why maybe it bothered him. Maybe he's still battling it, because once you get over something and you put it behind you and just decide to like maybe become a better person, something like that shouldn't necessarily bother you that hard, you know?
Yeah,
But
man.
I'm also not here to tell people how to feel.
Yeah.
Mm. But that's just how I felt. I felt like he should have said something before the interview, because again, Nori was like, but bro, you called us.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
But still, at the same
So
time, bruh, I think, like, okay, because Lamar was taking it. Maybe was it? I think maybe he was taking his time answering the questions, or maybe that's just the effects of like too much of what he was doing back then, and then now it's affecting him.
mhm.
Yeah. Nori should have just like been like, okay, so I haven't been drinking for 9 weeks. Out of respect, I shouldn't, do it in front of you, even if you're the one who called me
Mhm.
to meet up with you. Like, bruh.
So let's say it's a shared blame here, you know?
Yeah, it's a shared blame.
No particular person was more wrong than the next. It's a shared blame. Lamar should have known better to say something, maybe behind the scenes, because we don't know what happens behind the scenes. I don't know if the team at Drink Champs asked Lamar's team, like, are you guys sure you're okay with drinking? We don't know if those questions were asked. No one has said anything to that
Yeah.
effect
I'm not.
just
I'm not
yet.
sure they said that. I'm not sure they said that.
Yeah. So that hasn't come up, but let's just say it's a shared blame situation. But Lamar, in my opinion, Lamar came off real funny. He it's good that he was being stand up, but at the same time, it came off funny because it's like now you just how do I put it? I feel like Lamar wasn't he wasn't trying to take responsibility of his own action.
True.
And I've been big on that. It's one of the things I've been big on lately. So
Yeah.
when I see it, I try to, try to analyze the situation. If it were me,
Yeah.
am I the same person that's gonna try to blame the next person if it was me, or am I gonna try own up to it?
Yeah, man. Oh, but that was funny and sad at the same time.
So, yeah,
Uh, I
let's just hope
wonder.
it doesn't happen again. I'm worried. I really hope it doesn't affect the Drink Champs continuity goal.
Well, we're gonna see because, of course, the situation in the States is a lot of shit has been shut down. Like, you can't have. I think the directive is more than 5 people or more than 10 people in a room.
Yeah,
A lot of we're gonna get into it next week. Like, what content we're gonna maybe have to
be able to.
to deal with or to expect during quarantine. And we're gonna get into Money Heist next week as well.
Oh my God, you
So
too, man.
I have a story to tell you. I have a story to tell you. I'm gonna save it for next week.
I want to hear this. So I can't wait.
I'm gonna save it for next week, bro. All right. For those of you who have tuned in into this first episode of the podcast, don't worry if we're going left, right, and center. We just this is a conversation.
We're
It's
getting started.
basically vibes. It's
I'm trying to
basically
stabilize.
we're gonna get better at this basically. So bear with us.
Hmm. Stick
Um,
with us.
Stick with us. The world is changing. I don't think the world will ever get back to normal at this rate.
Also, this is us talking to you and talking with you. So if you feel like there's anything y'all need us to cover, feel free to hit us up on our socials with a comment. If there's anything happening around you that you think we might not know of, and you think it's something that people will be interested in. Just let us know what's up. If you have any conspiracy theories yourself about this virus, if you know something that we don't know,
Oh, that's gonna be funny.
let us know. Let us know.
All right, man. Shoot, plug your Twitter,
Yo,
plug your socials, and then I'm plugging my socials. Then we can get out of here till next week.
as I told you, man, my name is Shukid. That's SHUKID. Find me on social media, Twitter. That's at King Shukid254. Instagram, just King Shukid. Facebook, my Facebook page is Shukid. I'm all over the network, man. Just hit me up, holler at me. Let's parlay all day, any day.
Right, and I am at Dave the MC on Twitter. You can catch me there on Instagram, Dave the MC21. And yeah, we're gonna set up the NaiSai Podcast on your socials so that you can also holler at us there. And thank you for listening to us, man. Like in this time where everything seems to be dark and gloomy, there's always going to be light in terms of creatives coming up with ways to talk to y'all and to interact with you, even as you go through this difficult time. So yeah,
Man.
thank you very much for listening to the first episode of the NaiSai Podcast. It's the boy Shukid and Dave the MC. And until next
time.
Till next time, actually.
Peace out, man. Take care of yourselves.
Yeah, man.
Stay quarantined. Wash your hands. Sanitize. Shower.
By the way, we're going to talk about how I think people are not showering. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into that, man. All right. Till next time. Peace.
Yep.